All right, we're here with Joey Kriete, our sheriff, and he is our first person to be interviewed in the new Grant County Fairgrounds Studio. And if you see me looking up, we've got a TV here that kind of, so we can make sure we look good. You look good, Joe.
Well, I'm still waiting for it to improve, so I don't know how long we got to keep.
I don't know. I think we look pretty good for a couple. Well, I'm really old compared to you, but we wanted to talk to a little bit about our upcoming fair. And I know after last year's incident, we had some security issues. We had one security issue. Honestly, other than that, the fair was phenomenal.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, the weather was good, and
yeah, we were pretty. Well, first of all, I want to say if the nice thing about me being your first interview, you got nowhere to go but up now.
Oh, it's gonna.
I mean,
I don't know. I had to pay the big bucks just to get you. So,
well, we sat here before we went on the air. And we said, "Oh gosh, thank goodness we could, fix it if we say something stupid." Right?
Yeah.
I said, "You mean when
we say something stupid?
Because it's gonna happen."
That's true.
You and something's gonna.
And no cussing. That's the other thing. I have to remind myself.
We got that. Yeah.
But so after last year's incident, I thought it would be good to try to alleviate some of the fears that people might have in the community, and talk about some of the things that we're doing. And you and I met quite a bit before budgets, and we put in for some pretty big projects.
Yeah, we really did, and it really is a really crummy situation that we had at the fair last year. I mean, it was, like you said, it was a great fair. It really was. I mean, as far as the stability of the weather, I've been to a lot of fairs, Jim, a lot, and I'll tell you, last year's weather we had was great.
Yeah,
it was fantastic, and when the weather's good, it makes people comfortable.
Yeah,
we don't have people going down from dehydration.
Right.
People's moods are great. They don't want to be packed in the commercial building.
Right.
They get out. They want to see the things of the fairgrounds, and if people haven't come out to see the fairgrounds, the work you guys are doing out here, it's incredible. I was having conversations just this last weekend, at the Rodeo Association bank when I was at, and all we did was talk about how great the fair is now, and it's become a destination.
Yeah,
it really has, and kudos to you and your team, because this facility is just unbelievable.
Thanks. We got a great relationship with the Rodeo Association too, which I don't know that that's always been the case. We've made some really big improvements over there with their help, and I think that worked out well.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think the relationships are probably better now than they've ever been.
Yeah,
frankly, I really think so. Yeah. Anyway,
so let's go through some of the ideas that we came up with, and last year, for those of you that don't remember, we had a 15-year-old who discharged a weapon on the grounds, hit two people in his immediate vicinity. What was interesting is you actually had officers within 50 feet of the guy.
Yeah, they were really close when it happened. So the night that we had the incident happen, there, the shooting, I believe we had 18 deputies, 18 officers between deputies and Moses Lake Police Department, who's really joined in as a great partner with us at the fairgrounds last year. And they've been out there in the past for us, helping with traffic control out on Valley Road after the demo on the rodeo. But they really, really helped us out and jumped in and helped us patrol the fairgrounds this year, which was fantastic. So we ended up having 18 law enforcement personnel on the fairgrounds last year during the fair. And that was every day coming up into Friday. So it's not like we didn't have a law enforcement presence.
Right.
I mean, we had two of my crime reduction team deputies were, like I said, probably 50 to 75 feet away when this happened. They were right there. So that's kind of how brazen the situation was, to where we could add 100 more cops there right beside them, and I really don't know if it would have changed anything. But nonetheless, our response was very quickly. We were able to get the individual secured very fast, which was great. Thank goodness. And, at the time, in the heat of the moment, when, myself and Chief Sainsbury were actually over at the rodeo grounds when it occurred, and when we ran over there, it's, you always see the videos of people running out as law enforcement's running into an active shooter. And, it was real. I don't know how else to explain it. And we always hope, as I knock on our wood table here, we always hope that it doesn't happen here. We really don't want it to happen here. But when that day comes, it was refreshing to know that we ran in without even thinking about it, you know, and
the response, I think, overall on the grounds that day was really good. People were calm for the most part. There was I was near center field at the time. We were just getting ready to bring on another entertainer, and I saw people running, but for only about a minute, and then things calmed down, and obviously I ran towards the sheriff's booth at that point.
Yeah, people were very calm and quite frankly provided us a lot of very, very good information during the time of the incident. So we were very fortunate with the community. Well, we have such great support with our community anyway. We really do.
Yeah.
So in a tragic situation like that, it's refreshing, you know, that our community is very helpful, very, very supportive to one another. I mean, they were there to help the victims that we had there at the fair that night as well. So our response was very quick, as I'm kind of going down to your list here. And I think we did a really good job with the response that we had. It's crazy how fast training goes into play.
Yeah.
You know, we all train for this active shooter situation or scenario with the hopes that it never, ever happens. But when the training that we've taken as law enforcement for so many years kicks into place and our team is out there doing exactly what they're supposed to do and making sure the grounds are secure as quickly as we can to be able to, you know, provide aid and help to the people that need it. Everybody, including the fair staff, just was phenomenal. Even Davis Carnival.
Oh,
their team. Oh my gosh, their team was a tremendous help. They really were, and everybody really, really came together that night for a really horrible situation that we had at our fairgrounds.
Yep. My the fair advisory committee too was really helpful that night because they were out. Well, Commissioner Carter was out directing traffic with my wife, which was kind of a mess just because we were trying to vacate the ground so quickly and people were trying to turn left on Airway when they should have just turned right. But other than that, I think everybody really pitched in and made something that was not the best happen a little bit better. But that was really the biggest issue I think I heard complaints about was traffic getting out of here because there were people sitting there for hour and a half. And I know that we actually had Santa cans by the Purple Gate so people could run off the road, get the Santa can, go back to their car.
Yeah, there's of course, you know, things that we when we met had a debrief about it. There's always things that we can always do to be better. We really, really want to be better at things that we have out here that we deal with in public safety. Not just in law enforcement, but fire does the same thing. EMS does the same thing. I know you guys probably meet after incidents. What can we do to make things better? So we're always trying to think of things and ways that we can make things better for our community when they come to the fair and enjoy the events that we have out here at the fairgrounds. And whether it's here, whether it's any Kriete event or down in Mattawa event, we always want to make it better and more safe for everybody that goes in there. And you know, some of the things we did talk about was like the traffic thing, trying to get people evacuated more quickly and safely. And what does that look like? And those are kind of the little things, I guess, is what it comes down to. And then we want to make a big difference in those things. But to us, the big deal was minimizing injuries to people.
Yep.
We knew we had the two that we had, but we didn't have any fallout injuries after that.
Right. There was no stampede or anything like that. Nobody injured. Tried to get out of it.
So I guess if there is a win in a horrible situation like that, that's kind of the win out of the whole thing. So
we did learn a couple lessons too, and we've talked about them. One of them was the PA system we found was inadequate in addressing people who were in the campgrounds and in some of the perimeter areas. What was amazing is the rodeo they didn't miss a beat. And I think there was probably some parents on the rodeo side concerned about their children on the fair side. And so obviously one of the things that we are addressing is our PA system. And we've got some other things we're going to talk about, but and then the next day, you know, Pat and Geraldine honoring those passes for the carnival and then making Saturday free. What was interesting after the numbers, we got all the numbers for fair, it was the biggest fair attendance ever. So we were at a little over 82,500 through the gates, which people come multiple times, but it was 51,000 unique visitors about. And considering that we had that shooting on Friday, Saturday came back as a huge day. So
yeah, there was a ton of people there Saturday, and that's kind of how resilient we are. You know, it really made me feel good to see the number of people at the fair coming back because I felt like they trust us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And having that support from the community, of the trust that we're going to do the best we can and do the right thing to make sure that we're providing the best event that we can for our community, because that's what it's about, right? And so, you mentioned the Davis family and honoring those carnival passes. I know they're not from Grant County,
no,
but they sure don't act like it.
They love this fair.
When they come, they are so focused on what can we do for you guys to make, what can we do to make it better? What do you need from us? That is the first thing that comes out of Pat's mouth every year we meet is what can we do better for the Grant County Fair? And to me, that says a lot for a man that's been in business for a long time.
We're very fortunate to have him.
Very, very fortunate. And he's so concerned with our fair here and how he can make things better for us.
So we talked, one of the things that Joe and I have to do is we go through a process of budgeting with the county commissioners, and we look for capital improvements. And in this case, for 2025, we focused on safety features. We have a couple of other smaller projects, which we'll get into later, but in another episode. But our real focus this year was safety. So some of the things that you and Josh noticed was fencing was one of the big ones.
Yeah, we had some fencing that was probably aged here at the fairgrounds, and sometimes it's hard when you have a location for instance, like our fairgrounds. It's owned by the community. Grant County owns the fairgrounds, and we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to be fiscally responsible with the funding that we get provided us by the community. But one thing that we did find is our fencing was really lacking in some areas, and we had some holes. And we just had to make a run through, and you made the request through the budget and get the whole entire area of the south end of the carnival location getting that replaced. And that's a great thing, because that's where our busy time is, especially in the evening, right? Down in that carnival area. So having that in a more secure and a safer area for people to be in is.
We find holes. I mean, we found holes in the fencing in Southfield. We find holes in the fencing in the North Campground, out by our stash of stuff out in the corner. On the east side, we see holes. So getting all of those holes in the Southfield replaced is a good one. The lighting in Southfield, we've put in new lighting in a lot of the areas. In fact, most of the grounds have that high intensity must-go lighting. So we're going to add 6 more towers to Southfield. That'll help a lot.
Oh man, those new lights that you guys put in, those are unbelievable.
Daylight.
Oh my gosh, it is. It is literally like daylight, especially by our office and in the center area there. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's going to be such a huge change down on that south end. Is getting more light down there, especially on the the east side of the carnival, between the carnival and the rodeo area. It's going to be really nice getting that lit up by those restrooms over there and things like that.
Well, and it gets kind of dark behind that row of vendors that's going down through the center of Southfield, and then you've got all the campers along the fence. That area between those two is really dark, we noticed. And in fact, when we drove down, Commissioner Jones and I drove down in the golf cart to see what was happening. We noticed how dark it was, and it was hard to see people.
Yeah, that'll be a really, really good improvement.
More speakers in the grounds. We're going to put speakers on the shops and everything, so all the campgrounds can hear. One of the things we heard was there were rumors about shooters, multiple shooters. I mean, the rumors are rampant when you have something like that, but we want to make sure that people know exactly what's happening. We get as much information out as possible.
Yeah, and that's been a big thing for us even too, Jim, is to make sure that on our social media feed that we have with our Facebook followers, I think we're approaching 56,000 Facebook followers we have with the sheriff's office, and we try to provide timely and accurate information as quickly as we can. And thank goodness we had our PIO there that night, and we were able to get some information out fairly quickly when the incident happened. But you always think, gosh, if it could have just been quicker. I mean, you always think that, and you're always thinking about ways to improve those things, and having those speakers out there to help give that initial and immediate response for people, so they're aware of what's going on is great. Yeah.
We have Ricky from our IT department actually in an office 2 down from us right now, and he's working on 50 more cameras that we're going to install. So the thought is to put in then more cameras. We have 19 on the grounds right now, but 50 more is going to definitely add to the visibility I don't know that it's a preemptive measure, but boy, we can get the details afterwards.
You really can, and we have some of those cameras throughout the county that we have access to at the sheriff's office, and the resolution of those cameras, it's really great. I mean, you can zoom in very, very close, and you maintain that resolution. So the work that our technology services is doing over in Ephrata, and the work Ricky does, like you're talking about, the products that they find for the technology, the cameras that are out there in the world, they've really picked some top-notch equipment for us to have here in the county to provide us that information, even though it's after the fact. It is really good information for us to have after things like that happen.
Yep. And I think our plan is to put in 3 monitoring stations, one, big screen TV with multiple cameras showing in the sheriff's booth, one in the office, and then one in the maintenance shop. So
good. Yeah. Good locations.
We also saw as lighting at the gates was a biggie. I know that one of the things we were trying to do is identify others that may have been involved in that incident. And the lighting at some of the gates was such that we couldn't quite see detail of those people as they exited.
Yeah, I think with the combination of the extra lighting that we are going to have, not only in just the grounds of the south area, but at each of the gates, as well as with the cameras to really, help support those the lighting that's there. It's going to be a really good combination of helping us ID some people when we have situations like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then one of the suggestions you made was to bring in more actual officers. And so we contacted a company out of Seattle that does just that. And I know you've worked with them in the past, and the prior sheriff worked with them in the past. So we did get budget to bring in up to 20 more officers, which schedule-wise, I think you'd want like an early afternoon till close kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so. When we start going through the activity that we have out here at the fairgrounds every year, I'm typically, I kind of mix mine around a little bit. Most of the time I'm out during the daytime and visiting with people during the day. And I try to go enjoy the rodeo myself at night if I can, or the one night when the incident occurred on Friday, I was actually there working, enjoying the rodeo still, but working. So I try to at least grab 1-2 nights during the fair, during the week, just to see different people at different times of the day. But anytime we can have more security out here, and qualified security,
right?
People that are trained for that, whether it's off-duty law enforcement officers, retired law enforcement officers, people that know the system, know what we, as far as deputies or officers, are looking for, is very, very supportive for us. It really is, and they're going to be a great addition to the security of the fairground.
Yep. I'm excited about that. And I think if nothing else, the visibility of having that many officers on the grounds during the event is going to make people feel more comfortable, because they're going to see, and it's not going to be a security company that isn't necessarily, I mean, they're good for some things, checking ID at beer gardens and those kinds of things, or backstage security, but actively looking for problems.
Yeah. And the people that we're bringing in here, they're trained for that.
Yeah.
These are cops. These aren't just have a security license. They're certified police officers, active or just retired. So you're getting high quality security that are going to be coming here to our fair.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
So one of the questions we get is, well, and we've had all kinds of suggestions. I reached out to Tim Swanson, who's the Live Nation security guy. I think he does the West Coast or something like that. He's got multiple venues. And the difference between us and them is they're a private organization. They can make whatever rules they want. They don't have to worry about constitutional limits when it comes to guns or anything like that. So I know Tim talked about, well, let's do this. You should bring in metal detectors, and you should have drones flying the perimeter. You should have, weapon sniffing dogs. And I listened to all of that, and I thought, well, hold on. If 30 to 40% of our patrons carry, all of a sudden we're making the ones that legally carry have to go through a huge process.
Yeah.
It's a big question.
And it really is. And I'd love to tell you I have the answer, but I don't, because, one thing that I'm a big supporter of is the community's ability to carry firearms. I wish that every legal person in the world that was able to carry a firearm, I wish they'd do it. I believe that.
We do got to probably move that closer. You keep working towards me.
Sorry, well,
maybe it's my cologne today.
Jim, you see it a while, for God's sakes.
It's for a while.
Gosh, I know, it's like crazy. But those are things that make it difficult to make that decision. Is what is the right answer? And you think about, okay, so we have metal detectors at the entrances. Okay, we got one at the blue gate, we got one at the gold gate, we got one at the red gate, and then what do we do with the people that are camping here? What do we do with the people that come in for the rodeo? Right, those guys are on the road all the time, and anybody is they're packing. They're packing. Yeah, and so what do you do? Limit them from coming into the fair? And I mean, it's hard to do. I get the theory behind it, but I think you hit it on the head, because we don't have a privately owned fairground to make specific rules that we can do to eliminate some people from coming in here. And maybe the answer is metal detectors. I don't know. I don't know what the plan looks like. I'm not saying yes, have them. I'm not saying don't have them. But the nice thing is about it, it's at least a topic of conversation, and we're willing to have the conversation and find out what the solution is. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't have all the answers, but I'm not afraid to have conversations or ask about it. I think that's the important part about the positions that both of us are in, Jim, is it's okay not to know everything. Right. As long as you're not afraid to ask the questions to get it. So,
and as long as we're making incremental improvements to try to make people feel safe and be safe. That's the big thing, is we could throw $500,000 worth of metal detectors and all kinds of things at it, but is that really going to make it any better? Yeah. Because we have 187 acres. You got perimeter, where you mentioned, somebody that wanted to could throw a gun over the fence in Southfield, and then we're in the same boat.
Yeah, and especially with the, now things may be different now with the new additional security coming in. Who knows? Maybe we can have an outer perimeter patrol that may minimize that. But we're not going to be able to line 600 cops around the complete acreage of the fairground to make sure nobody throws something over the fence. I mean,
it's a big facility.
Yeah, it's a huge facility, and it's not under a dome. No, maybe that's the next budget extension.
We do a sun dome.
Yeah, you do
air conditioning.
Yeah, climate control dome. Yeah, fairgrounds. Yeah,
sounds really.
That's great. Yeah, I hope the commissioners listen.
Yeah, that one could be expensive. I'm not sure.
I'll let you bring that one up. I probably won't. I probably
haven't. Cindy. Yeah. Okay. I brought up my discussions with Tim. I will say Live Nation was really helpful, though. They did. In fact, they wanted me to come out during Luke Combs' concert, and we're going to walk me through their security. You were probably out there working.
I was not. I wasn't working that night, no.
And I said, oh, man, I had Flannel Fest going. I would have loved to have gone out there and listen to Luke Combs and see what they do. But I'm sure Tim will offer that again.
Yeah.
But we still haven't worked on how we're going to utilize the additional officers. I know that'll be really up to you as the sheriff to kind of say, hey, what do you think as far as a new security plan with these extra 15 to 20 officers?
Yeah, and I think the nice thing is about it, we'll have a lot of time to meet. We'll have a lot of time to draw it on a board and get it up there to see where the best location is to have these guys to what is the best use. That's the other thing we need to consider, is not only where to have them, but at what capacity we're going to use them. The nice thing is we're going to have a lot of options. That's a great thing. We'll have a lot of options. And what we do this year, there may be some things that are messed up.
We may change it.
May change it in 26. Yeah. So that's a great thing, is we get that opportunity to continue becoming better with the operation of the Grant County Fair when we have it. So that's a great thing about this, is we do have the ability to keep moving forward and keep learning.
So, we want to say we really appreciated the support we get from the Grant County Sheriff's Office. I mean, all your deputies are amazing. I had a young deputy the other day. They stopped me in front of the Huck Fuller building. This is a kind of a funny story. And he must be a fairly new deputy. Maybe he's, still on probation. I don't know. Anyway, he said, hey, Jim, could you open bathroom 1? I go, well, yeah, I can, but you guys know you got a bathroom down in your office down there. We do? And I said, yeah. I said, do you got a key? He goes, well, yeah, I got a key. I said, well, then you got a and it's heated. So, yeah, you can head down there. The bathroom 1 is not heated right now. So when it's 10 degrees out, you might want to use your own one in the office there. But they're in here all the time, and I know they do a lot of training on the grounds and stuff. The biggest concern I have for 2025 is this. Block 40 better have their ice cream machine.
Yeah, that was a sad day. I mean, when I found out that was out that week, it just changed things.
I mean, I get the drill out so I can notch another notch in my belt.
Yeah.
So that when I have all that Block 40 ice cream, I'm good to go. So, yeah.
And just think how the extra room we're going to have now that we're all these diets we're on.
Yeah.
I feel like we're doing it just for August.
Yeah, well, we are.
And that's
Corn dogs and the ice cream.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Hey, so one of the questions I had though was, can I have a patrol car?
You got a budget. I don't.
Oh no, I want to borrow one with all the stuff in it.
Well, you didn't say borrow. You said you want one.
Oh yeah, I don't have to buy it.
So we'll have to negotiate that.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah. So
how about maybe we start with the side by side around the fairgrounds?
Yeah,
we'll
be good.
We got lights on it.
Yeah,
we'll start there. I mean, baby steps.
Well, thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it. And thanks for being the first guinea pig to see the whole set here as far as our studio goes. And we're hoping to do more of these. In fact, we're going to record one this week as well with Debbie Martinez to talk about the business expo. So
good. Yeah, this is great. I'm so happy to see you doing this. I saw the first one you did, just the introduction of it.
Yeah.
What a great idea. I mean,
it's people get some kids in here.
Yeah. I mean, you've got so many things happening at the Grand County Fairgrounds. You have just so many options that you really got it.
Other than I don't have a patrol car.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I'll let you ride in one.
Okay, good.
In the front.
Well, that's not. I was going to say in the back. Last time you made me go in the back, I think. So.
Well, it's because you like the jewelry you put on. I don't know what.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
We'll get another episode going here soon, but I really appreciate everything. And if you got any questions or anything, you can email me through the website. Thank you.